Guys, I got an episode for y'all today. This is about to be very informative, very interesting. Welcome to Heat City, man. I can't even tell you where I'm at right now.
This is like when people that athletes or ball players come in and we try to see who has the most ups right here.
No way.
At the rocket boosters.
What?
Yeah.
Who's at the top up there?
That's Gilbert Arenas.
What?
Yeah.
Somebody just got on the ladder and put Andrew at the top?
Yeah, that one's fake. That one's bullshit.
Wow. So man, this is the sit down, man. I really appreciate you letting us in to,
of course,
your vault of just madness, craziness, clothes, shoes, or whatever. It's definitely an experience for me, and I've seen a lot. But I mean, you're never too old to learn new stuff. So I mean, I know that you got so many kicks that you showed us, and it's kicks in general that mean something to you or whatever. And like, I mean, I just want to sit down and chop it up with you about some of those shoes.
Of course, cool, definitely.
I mean, I don't know. Which one you want to start with, man? There's so many around here. Whatever.
I'll just have you pick them out, and then we'll put a little background on all of them.
Man, it's heat down here, man. I need to put some gloves down. I need to put some gloves on to reach down here. But you know what I'm saying? I start like this right here with this old Space Jam right here.
Yeah, this is something that's a little odd, right? You got the little the Concorde in there, not that typical royal blue that you've been used to, with that embroidered 23 in the back, and not that printed on 23. Did you see that little hit on there?
This is embroidered.
Yeah. They look beat to hell, so you know that they're definitely from another era, right?
Correct.
So this pair was actually worn by MJ on the set of Space Jam.
No way. No way.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I think there's a couple of them out there.
That's crazy. I'm sick right now.
Oh yeah, dude. My boy Air Mag, he's like he hit me up one day and was like, yo, I got something special for you. So he had somebody that he knew that was selling it, that worked for a magazine.
Correct.
I don't want to say like who or where.
No. It's just, I mean, in general.
Yeah. And this is something that I've had ever since.
Michael Jordan wore these. Like, that's the basis of everything. Like, Michael Jordan actually wore these.
You might still have some scent though. You want?
I'm good, man. This Jordan is good enough, man. Nah, that's cool.
Some dudes might be like reaching and really like want to get that, but I mean, overall, this is. I mean, it definitely needs like a little touching up, but this is always like something that maybe you don't even want to like dust off. You don't even want to.
I think you need to keep the foot scent.
The way it is.
You gotta keep the foot scent. You need the little foot scent in your life, man.
If you notice, like when you feel like inside where the ankle is, the support that's in there is something you won't even like find these days.
Oh yeah, this is not even the same as the Space Jams from wherever.
No. It's like every year they become like more of a...
It's something else.
Yeah.
Like, just something else. Like,
we're
not going to call it what it is.
Time,
just become something else.
Right?
Nah, man.
So this is something I've always like...
How long have you had them?
10 years now. I got them in 04. So, you know, this is not something, you know, I ever put out there. I was always like very low key, kind of just did a low profile. Then I mean the name, the little, you know, the eBay name Croatian style, that was out there for a bit, but
correct.
But like, you know, kind of never put my face out there until we opened up, you know, the whole Project Blitz era, and this is like a whole new, you know, project that we're doing, and I'm glad you're finally here to, you know,
nah, man, definitely
be a part of it.
That's the whole purpose of the show, man, is just to shine light on the people who actually expand the culture and help build the culture of sneakers. Because I mean, how long have you been doing sneakers, just collecting sneakers in general?
Well, I mean, look, collecting them, like actually keeping, it's like this. If you were a kid, right?
Correct.
And you had G.I. Joes or whatever it was, right? You wanted to rip open that box and like take out that toy and play with it, right? So for someone that was buying shoes and then like just sticking them in a closet didn't make any sense to me, because like when we were growing up, it was, I mean, I'm 35 now, I'm not an old ass man yet, but you know, when I was growing up, like in the 80s and 90s, and then when I was like getting really into sneakers was like the early 90s, was like everyone wanted that new shoe that was coming out like at school, even sixth grade, you know, like stupid me, I chose, well at the time it was kind of cool, I chose the Reebok Pump when it first came out, the white, black with the neon green versus the Jordan 5. Well, the black and silver. I mean, and that was something I was going back, I was like, yeah. Well, it was a gimmick. It was the gimmick back then. And you know, when you walk around the playground and all the girls were like, "Oh, can I pump your shoe?" and stuff, and you're like, "All right,
yeah, sure."
Cool. That was like a thing back in the day. But you know, everyone wanted that new style. Everyone wanted the new one that was coming out.
Right.
And then all the way up until high school, you know, you wanted that new Dion or the Bo or whatever athlete was out there wearing that shoe. Unlike today, back then it was like about who was wearing it and the new model and the new Jordan.
Definitely, because
that old one, no one cared
about, like, it's more artist driven compared to athlete driven.
Exactly.
Back in the day.
Exactly.
Definitely, that's dope.
Exactly.
That's dope. Hey man.
So go ahead, keep them coming.
Space Jam, game worn, movie worn, however you want to put it. Space Jam 11s. I told you I need some gloves to reach down. This is crazy. This is super crazy. Now we'll keep it in the Jordan world, man.
All right, yeah. Everybody knows what these are, right?
Of course.
Well,
what's your story on it?
All right, well, these are like my favorite Jordan ever, you know. There was like a couple things that did certain things for me, but like this was like the one. You can tell this is the original one because it has the white, you know, it's not painted black.
Right,
you know, like the little edge of the leather, you could still see it. So, you know, when we used to ditch like first period in high school to go get the sneaker and stuff, go to the local mom and pop, or the Korean store, or the mall, or whatever it may be.
Wherever you went to.
There was only like 5 people in line over there, and it's like usually someone you know, either from the other high school, or someone's homie or whatever, or someone's dropout older brother that's like just gonna be there anyway. But this was like the big thing, like, dude, the patent leather on the shoe was like the hottest thing. We never seen anything like it. We didn't see anything shiny, so everybody wanted it, you know.
Correct.
Like I didn't grow up in Beverly Hills. I grew up right here in Hawthorne, Inglewood. I mean, this was like the culture, you know. Like everybody just wanted that shoe, and when I was in line for it, was that?
Especially the colorway too.
Oh, of course. I mean, this is like the Bulls color.
Yeah,
although I was a Laker fan and Magic was my favorite player, I mean, I love Jordan as well. Like I don't really know.
I think Jordan made a lot of people cheat on their favorite player when it came to his shoes.
That's true.
You can't help it. Like everybody cheated on their favorite player with Michael Jordan.
That's a great analogy right there.
That's just put it out there, man.
That's serious. But so we're waiting in line, and because you know who's gonna be after this, right? The whole neighborhood Bloods. Everybody was going out for anything that red that was popping up like that.
Of course. So
you're 16 years old, and you stand there in line, and all of a sudden you get like some Bloods coming, and that's what, 96. So that's like when it was still really deep. You know,
like people were riding.
They're not on skate. They weren't skating. Yeah, they weren't on skateboards back then. They were. They were like Coupe de Villes and then Cutlass Supremes and all that, like rolling around the blocks. So when somebody comes up, you're just like, all right,
you got it,
cool. you know, what are you gonna do? Argue with them? So, but
So
see, that the funny thing is when we came in, yeah, we didn't, you know, our size wasn't there. The other people got it. We, you know, a few of them came in, cut us, and I guess some of them got our size. And but the thing is, they still had a couple. But had it been today, we would have just got it because we know we could have sold it. But see, back then, we're just like, all right, whatever. They don't have our size. We can't do anything about it. Well, I guess we'll try to find it elsewhere.
Back to school.
But then it was a wrap. It was all gone. There was no eBay. There was no Craigslist.
That's it.
There was no Instagram. There was nothing. So once it's gone, it's gone. And then that was that. And then I remember the Lowe's came out with the, you know, the IE Lowe's, the LE, IE.
Yeah.
It's still debatable with the cement and the vents. They're all right. They're cool, and I ended up getting those, but they're not.
It's not
they're
this.
Not this.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's why I figured we, you know, tell a little story about this pair.
So in '96, missed out on them, if I'm not mistaken, or whatever, and you were able to get your pair. What, the 2000 or 2001 version?
Yeah, they came out again in 2001, and I was like going crazy. But I know like a year before that, I ended up getting like an original pair because I started like dabbling on eBay like end of '99, 2000,
right,
looking for that shoe over there.
Boom.
You know, see that's a whole nother one. You know,
man. Yeah,
I was done at that point. Like, dude, the 14s came out. I was like, all right, you know, it's cool. The white and red one was all right. The color placement was cool, you know. But then the other ones were kind of like whatever. And then I just kind of like lost it. I had a bunch of like, you know, shoes, and I was just buying whatever else was coming out.
Cool.
But then I was in Europe one time, and when I came back, one of my friends came up and he had brought up the retro card. Remember those retro cards?
Yeah, those cards that come in all the Jordan boxes.
So all of a sudden I saw that retro card. I was like, yo, what's that all about? And it was the 4. And he said, oh, I went to the Foot Locker and the guy gave me the card. He showed me like all, and I was looking at that all the time. And I was like, damn, they came out with those again? See, we didn't care about the 1, 2, and 3 when those came back out in like '94. Like nobody cared. That's why those hit Marshalls and the Ross stores and all that.
That's crazy.
But these, that was another story, and that's actually what started all. How I searched on the internet and all that was because of those.
So to a certain extent, this was one of the first Jordans, if not just tennis shoes in general, that kind of like hyped you, like got you hyped about. Well, I gotta get it.
Yeah, that's the one that made me realize that people actually like saved stuff. So this guy was selling it, and it was like what, $20 over. Or $25, let's say that, because it was like $199.99 plus tax, was about $110, right? And this guy, I found eBay, and he was selling it for like $135. And I asked him, I was like, hey, how about but get this. So I even asked him, hey, you know, can I just get that for $110? You know, retail plus tax.
For retail plus tax. Yeah.
And he was like, no. I mean, why? At least I want to get at least something. I had him for a few months, and I said. It didn't even make sense to me, and then it finally like hit, and I was like, oh, okay, all right, and then that's when it.
That's crazy.
That's when it started.
You're debating on 130 and 110 with
that's
cement forms. But that's the whole thing. That's where the game came from, though. It was not what it is now. Whereas like 110, that's not even a Jordan. Like what is that? You know what I'm saying? Like that's a kid shoe.
Oh, is it? Like I think kid shoes.
I think kid shoes like 125.
That's like toddlers. But that's the funny thing is that's really where it popped off, and I just told myself I was like, you know what? And I think that's where I've said it like in magazines and stuff, and I told a lot of people over the years too. I was like, hey, that's how I started paying for my own pairs. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go the next one. I'm gonna go buy 5, make that 20 on each, and I'm gonna have that $99.99 to pay for mine.
Right. Okay. I get it.
But then it snowballed, and then it turned into this
it's
like
a
nightmare over here.
whole different world now.
Yeah.
Nah, I mean that's cool because like the cool thing about it, man, is honestly being able to see. You have seen where sneakers started. It actually seen where it started, especially see where it is now. Mm-hmm. You know, so I know for you it's kind of like crazy where like what kids do for sneakers now, what resellers do, what adults do. It's just a whole different ball game than just getting cut by some bloods. You got grandmas and uncles and little nephews in line now to buy multiple pairs of shoes or whatever. And like at the end of the day, I don't even know it's not even for the same motive. At least you had a motive like, okay, I want to be able to get my pair. Some people are just getting them to get rid of all of them. Mm-hmm. So like you have no collection. Like your collection is not a collection anymore. Mm-hmm. You're basically just like it's just completely a business that kind of takes away from the sneakers, but it's a part of the culture. Mm-hmm. So now I definitely understand it, and like I appreciate you putting the light on where it started, because how it started for you, I mean, it kind of basically started for anybody else that got into selling shoes. Like you had to realize, like, okay, I can do this. In order to do this, I'm gonna do it. Mm-hmm. It makes sense. Nah, definitely. Let me reach back down here into the pot of gold. Man, probably the last Jordan I'll talk about, because this is ridiculous. Like, you guys already know how I feel about red shoes. And I have the 3s from the Legend of the Summer, but this right here, you gotta explain this to me, because I feel some type of way.
What's the first thing that comes to mind? Was it Dorothy or Chappelle Show?
Man, let's go Chappelle. Go Chappelle, baby. Let's go Chappelle.
So, they did the Legends of Summer.
Correct.
And I guess, they did the 1, 2, and the 3, but then they did a couple different versions of the 1. So you've seen the one that looks like the 3s, a different material.
Suede mixed in with this shiny.
And then they did this one, which was like a full-on, like, everyone's seen the other ones. I mean, these ones popped up a little here and there, but nobody really like knew what they were talking about.
This is my first time in life. Yeah. I feel like I missed it on the internet. Like I missed that blog.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard like who actually didn't like some of the other thing, and then they wanted something else. But I mean, whatever came first, like who knows really? Like it's all hearsay. But I mean, this is something that just kind of like blew me away, because this was like just wild, dude. Like
it's crazy. Like what material is this? Is it like?
I mean, just glitter.
Just glitter.
Yeah.
It's all glitter.
I mean, I think if you wore it too much, like it would all come off. You leave a trail of glitter behind you, like a.
Don't be hiding from nobody.
Like a fairy, you're leaving dust. But I mean, I mean, it's something else.
Cool.
Oh yeah.
The leather inside is definitely cool. Leather tab on this Jordan sign, super dope.
The midsole is obviously like one of the best things I like about it. Is just like that red anodized, that metallic red midsole.
Super cool.
Like
I think I remember that from the 3s. That I think they put it like there's hints of this shoe on the other ones too. This was the one. Obviously they kind of just put it all over. Like we're just gonna go crazy with this one.
Yeah.
Definitely, but nah, I really the Legends of the Summer, like that was one of the first Jordans that I've seen in a minute that brought back all the materials, like where like Nike Jordan is like using like, whoa, like this is a good shoe. It's really dope. Like, oh man, I was like when I got the 3s, I felt like, man, it's like these are like Balenciagas. Like what are these? These are crazy, man.
Yeah,
nah, definitely.
You're definitely lucky to get those in your size too. Like I'm trying to get them. I said these are actually my size, so.
Nah, I feel like those shoes are like, and where did you get these from? If you don't mind me asking.
Oh, I don't know. Just I think the local
shops or whatever. These are crazy, man.
Yeah, I know, right?
These are super
They
crazy.
just happen to have them laying around.
That's how they support your locals, man. I always say that, support your local shops out here in LA, man. LA, it's no telling what you can find. I found my 3s in New York randomly somewhere laying around. So I understand where you're coming from, man. Definitely. So are these still considered? These are still considered Legend of Summer 1s, just a different version of the one.
I mean, yeah, I believe that it's probably, I guess you would call it a part of that. You know what I mean?
To any one of my viewers out there, put in the comments below if these are not the Legend of the Summer 1s. Hey, fill us in, because obviously we need to know. Definitely. These are crazy, man. Could you imagine a shoe like this coming out in the 90s?
Oh, dude, it would have been nuts.
Do you think it would have still been the same that it is now as far as like the hype for sneakers?
Well, look at that Tailwind that came out. Remember that night track? It's the all silver with the red glitter swoosh, and there's glitter in the sole that Michael Jackson and Hasselhoff wore back in like the clubbing days, and they used them. They were slick bottoms, so they could use them on the dance floor.
That is right.
So they had a little bit of the glitter on it, but I mean something like that. Like,
from a Jordan, man, because back in the day, I would still say that like shoes were kind of more sport oriented or whatever. Like people were buying sneakers. Of course, people were rocking them, but they were buying them to play ball in too. A lot of the old a lot of the older sneakerhead cats that I talk to and meet just in general, they tell me that they grew up playing ball in their Jordans, and then some of them like, okay, well, I collect too, or whatever. So no, I get it. Definitely, can't really see anybody back in the day hooping in those.
No, that's more something. I think it'd be more something like West Hollywood back in the day, but
right.
That's a whole nother story.
Nah, man. So moving forward, let's change it up because Jordan is actually just went crazy with the last 3 that we just talked about, or whatever. The shoe I don't own, I don't even know if I want it, but I appreciate being able to touch it because it's the first time me even touching some Paris SB.
Is it really?
Is it? First time. I always have. Some shit for me, man, or whatever. Certain shoes I admire. I respect the people who own it. I respect the shoe. But it's like, some things, especially in the beginning before I even started doing music, it wasn't even nowhere close to my price range. So I kind of just put it out of my memory. Like, I'm not going to ever have this. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to see myself spending $2-3K on it either.
Right.
So it's kind of like, you know what? I enjoy that shoe. I like that shoe or whatever. And one day I'll see it around. So, hey, I see it around. Got a good touch on it or whatever. But you own these shoes. So, like, tell me about you actually being an owner of the shoe.
There's actually another good story behind these. So, this was something that was kind of revolutionary with like Nike SB because they were the ones doing they were pushing the envelope back in 01, 02,
From a concept
03.
standpoint, was that?
Oh yeah, I mean they were putting cement print on the dunk. Well, I mean that was part of like Supreme doing, but then they were doing colorways, like the Supa and all.
Crazy.
And they're really doing different things like the Heineken dunk and all that stuff. They're taking inspiration from things in their lives and all their lives around them instead of just looking at it as an athletic thing or whatever like the skaters doing. They're like, yo, let's look at things that we drink, things that we look at, things that we do. So they were gonna do this whole event in Paris, and it was part of the whole White Dunk exhibit. And the White Dunk thing was like this artist-driven thing where they put the Dunks was the shoe back in the early 2000s. So the White Dunk was all blank dunk, and that's where the Tokyo came from. It's like a blank canvas because it did the whole event in Tokyo. That's with the special laces that some of them came with. But the whole concept of the White Dunk was like they gave the artist the canvas to kind of do whatever they wanted to do. So I'm sorry, I forget the name of the artist that did the Paris Dunk, but this is Bernard Buffet's artwork, and they did a mosaic on all the panels. And there was 148 pairs that were put out to the public, and 50 of them were given away at an event where people just throwing the shoes on the up on the power lines and things like in Paris, or dudes. Everyone's getting drunk at a party, and people just ditching the boxes and not knowing what was really going on. And I saw my friend in Paris at the time sent me a picture. I was like, dude, I need that. That looks just crazy. I mean, it was just having all these little artworks on the shoe, and I thought at that point, because I was still selling on the side, and that's how I built my collection, and my appreciation of it was also being able to get people stuff that was sold out that they couldn't get anymore, or finding that stuff and being the guy that's curating it and giving them things that they couldn't get anywhere else, especially back then. So I just said, you know what, I'm gonna do something wild, and I'm just gonna get every pair I could. So I had everyone I knew in France just go and pick up every pair that was coming out of every shop they got in their lines, and which was, nobody was even prepared for it. Nobody was out there waiting, and anything that hit eBay I bought, and I just put them all on the side, and I ended up getting 33 of them. Now I wish I had all 33 of those today.
33 pairs done.
Yeah. So there was pictures floating around. They're still out there. I mean, those were done. This thing was happened in October 2003, and those pics were done in January of 2004. So it was actually 10 years ago that those pics were done, and they're still pretty relevant today in sneaker culture. This is what changed the game as far as what pricing was doing and people trying to jump on stuff. Because when the rest of the city packs came out, the Pigeons, you know, the Tokyos.
Oh yeah, we got pigeons just back here chilling. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, so when Jeff Stable put that together for the New York thing, there was what 400 or 500 people out on the street for
I remember you telling me
100, 150 pairs of shoes again. So that was another thing where everyone saw like, you know, the prices of everything going up, and you know, but overall I think this is like still one of my all-time favorites. Just I've always been a fan of like simplicity plus like putting something wild in it, and the fact of what it like everything meant behind it. It was just so great to me, you know. Like I have one that I just beat to death. But the beauty of these two is that every panel is different. So of all those 33 pairs,
person, like in my face, it gives me a better appreciation of the shoe from the standpoint of how creative this artwork is. Like even if I seen this artwork off the shoe, it's still dope. Like wow, there's some really dope artwork on here. Super dope.
Yeah, I mean, you know, well, for what it is, it's still, yeah, obviously everyone wanted to get it where you could have like more of the clown faces and the heads on it, and then a lot of the color everywhere. So there's some pairs out there that have a lot of color, there's some pairs that don't, but each one is unique.
Different.
Each one is different. So all 33 of those that we had, there wasn't one that was alike. You know,
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing.